I'm going to come over here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Woodlands Yoga Studio, where we have a very special guest instructor today, Tiffany McNeil, and you teach at?
I teach at 24 Hour Fitness, Gold's Gym, and Villa Sport, all in the Woodlands.
Yes. So, enjoy this morning's class. Take it away, Tiffany.
Good morning, all. Thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and meet in Sukhasana, this easy seated pose. For some of us, we're going to move the fleshy part out from underneath our sit bones to really feel ourselves anchor down into the earth. From here, I want you to take your fingertips behind your back, press into those fingertips, and lift your sternum like you're pulling yourself a little bit taller. And once you do that, go ahead and release the hands. Find this long, beautiful spine. While you're here, if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Otherwise, gently gaze down the tip of your nose. And all I want you to do in this moment is just relax into this space. Feel yourself rooted into the earth, the crown of the head reaching to the sun. Let your shoulders relax down into your back pockets. Feel the breath move through the nose. Let this next hour become that stress-free, problem-free zone. Allow yourself to soften the mind. Imagine your thoughts floating away on a cloud. This month, my focus has been on Ujjayi breathing. If you already know the breath, go ahead and start to move into that Ujjayi breath. If you're unfamiliar, as you take a deeper breath in, imagine you're pulling the air to the back of the throat where you gargle water. And when you exhale, it's like fogging a mirror, but your lips stay sealed. Continue with this deep flowing breath. It can sound like the ocean or leaves rustling in a tree. And for those of you that might be thinking it sounds like Darth Vader, then use that as an image. Allow your exhale to last longer than the inhale. When you exhale, notice how the tummy tightens. Help push the stale air out of the bottom of your lungs. On your next inhale, just sit a little taller. When you exhale, tip the right ear towards the shoulder. Take a nice long stretch this side of the neck. Head is heavy, shoulders are soft. Gently release the left fingertips to the earth and walk those fingers out and away from the body, just a way to deepen the stretch. More does not always mean better, so do what feels right. If you'd like, pick the right hand up, send it to the side of the head, and allow for that deeper stretch. As you release the hands, take an inhale to bring the head back to center. Exhale, tip the left ear towards the shoulder. Head is heavy, shoulders are soft. Keep lifting that sternum to the sky. You're welcome to stay here or release the right fingertips to the earth. Walking the fingers out, just feeling that deeper activation into the side of the neck. And if you'd like, take that left hand, bring it up to the side of the head. Just be mindful, it's only the weight of the hand. As you release the hands, inhale the head center. Exhale as you let the chin release to the chest. Take a moment here, release the fingertips in front of the body, and go ahead and slowly walk the hands forward without your sit bones lifting, and then release the elbows down to the earth. If this is uncomfortable for you, go ahead and stay up on those fingertips or keep the hands closer to the body. Otherwise, let the head and neck release. Pressing into the hands or into the elbows so your sit bones stay connected to the earth. Notice any sensation that is happening in the hips. And can you breathe to soften? Or do you need to adjust the pose to find ease? Take one more deep breath here. And as we rise up and walk our hands back into the body, go ahead and change that lead leg. And again, return to sitting up nice and tall. Eyes are closed or open, it's up to you. And from here, let's start to sway our rib cage from side to side. Just bringing movement into the spine. And then imagine your belly button is drawing a circle as you start to move the rib cage around. Big or small, fast or slow. Let's go 2 more times in this direction. And then you'll change directions. 2 more times around. And when you come back to center, go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Same thing, release the hands in front. Either stay here or start to walk the hands forward. Pause, how does this feel? Or release the forearms, elbows to the earth, and let the head and neck relax. Softening, letting go, allowing this hour to be just for you. Trying to find some music. Walk the hands back in to come up nice and tall. And let's inhale, circle the arms up to the sun. Exhale, bring the hands down and through. Again, inhale, circle up to rise, reach tall to the sky. Exhale, down and through. Imagine as you inhale and sweep, gathering up all that positive energy. Exhaling it, pressing it through the body to every cell. Let the hands rest at the heart. Let your chin release. Either keep the eyes closed or gently gaze to those fingertips. This is your time on the mat for you to become that student of your body, to truly listen to what the body needs. On this journey, find yourself letting go of the I can'ts, my body doesn't, and see what it can do today. Be kind, be patient. My theme this month is about change, and we've experienced a lot of change over the last few weeks. When we resist the change that is inevitable, we miss the change that is possible. So find the positive in change, but be patient. Gently blink the eyes open if they were closed and raise the gaze. Go ahead and extend one leg out on a slight angle. I'm going to extend my left leg out. And from here, gently rotate the belly button to the knee. Inhale, lift the arms up nice and tall. Exhale, stretch out towards that toe. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to reach. Just a little warm up here for the hamstrings and the hips, stretching forward at your own pace. Breath with movement, and then gently hold forward. Feel free to let the crown of the head reach towards the toes. The arms can release. Offer the heart forward instead of collapsing. As you slowly rise back up, go ahead and bend that left knee coming into seated Z. Inhale, rise up and stretch over to the side Whether you stay up on your hand or lower to the forearm, and just a nice long reach here. And let's warm up the shoulder. Take an inhale in this side stretch. Exhale, circle back. Inhale towards the hip. Exhale around as you round the back over to the ear. Inhale. Exhale, circle back. Come around to the hip and around the front of the body. Do this 2 more times, listening to what your shoulder needs. If it's a shorter range of motion, a bending of the elbow, and 1 more time around. Holding in that side stretch, and then gently rise up. Good, let's go ahead and change legs. Extend the right leg out, bring the left leg in, rotate the belly button to the knee, inhale to rise up, exhale, stretch forward, inhale, rise, exhale, reach. Go ahead and take this 3 more times, focusing on breath with movement. Your breath is just as important as any of these poses. On your last one, hold this reach forward. Offer the heart. We're hinging from the hips, not the belly button. Feel free to release the arms, release the head and neck. Slowly rise up. Go ahead and come into seated Z. If seated Z is not comfortable, take the leg back out long. And let's inhale up and exhale into that side stretch. Nice long stretch here. And then when you're ready for those arm circles, take an inhale to stretch. Exhale, circle to the back. Inhale around to your hip. Exhale, round the back and swing the arm around. Good, find that pace that works for you. Let's go ahead and take this 1 more time around. And then into that big side stretch. And then go ahead and rise up. Let's bring the soles of the feet together, Parsvakonasana. And as we bring our hands to our ankles, let's pull ourselves up nice and tall. When we find ourselves buckling at the belly, it may be more helpful to take the fingertips behind the back and lift up. Wherever you're at, just go ahead and flutter those butterfly wings. Just bringing ease to those hips. If you need to move the feet further away, go ahead and do that. Whatever feels best for you. Then slowly let the knees come up. Walk your feet forward just a little bit. We're going to work our powerhouse, our core. So as you sit up nice and tall, you can hold the hamstrings or tip back into the hands as an alternative. Otherwise, inhale, open nice and wide. Exhale, tip back off those sit bones. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, tip back. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tip. Let's go ahead and do this 3 more times. Keeping your heels glued to the earth. Finding how far back you can tip and still maintain that power. Let's add a twist to this. So as you rise up, when you exhale, twist the left hand over to the right and come back to center. And right hand over to the left. See if you can touch that palm. Again, we can use the earth to support us or that hamstring. Continue to flow. Exhale as you twist. Inhale to open. We have 2 more sets. And then 1 more time each side. And coming into Navasana Prep, that boat prep, go ahead and hold those hamstrings. Tip back, lift the shins to the sky, and then flex your feet like you're putting your feet on the wall. Pull your heart to the sky, and then let's reach towards those heels. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release. Go ahead and turn to either side of your mat and make your way into down dog. So we come into down dog, we want to place our hands on the earth, spread those fingers wide, and feel like our rib cage is drawing back towards our thighs. Our knees can be bent, straight, or we're pedaling the heels, stretching a little deeper into the Achilles and calves. Let's press a little firmer between the thumb and index finger. Really feel more support. Shoot straight up those arms, finding more power in the upper body. If you're pedaling the heels, go ahead and hold. And just shake the head yes and no. As we float our knees down to the mat, let's make our way into table pose. Adjusting the hands for alignment, shoulders stack over wrists, hips stacks over knees, and taking a pause here. An alternative for those of you that may be pregnant or protecting a back would be spinal balance instead of going into locust pose. So let's first practice this spinal balance. Inhale, extend the right arm with the left leg out, nice and long. Keep that heel hip height or lower. Return the hand and knee to the earth. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Try to have your pinky toe aiming to the mat so our hips and shoulders stay squared to the earth. And exhale, return. Find a pace that works for you and inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Continue to move at your own pace. If you're feeling a lot of pressure into the wrists, imagine you're palming a basketball so the tips of those fingers can feel like they have little suction cups on them as you press them into the mat. Let's go ahead and take this one more time each side. As you come back into table, let's first move into puppy pose. Look at your fingertips and then send your elbows forward of those fingers if it's comfortable and let the chest and head relax. For some of us, this may feel a little bit better than a child's pose, so just I'll take it here and release. Two more deep breaths here. And when you're ready, press into the palms to rise up. Walk the hands back in for this table pose. Take your knees a little bit wider than hip width apart. And if you're ready, float to child's pose, Balasana, hips towards heels. I want you to press your palms into the mat, send your hips a little heavier towards those heels. Remember, your alternative is to go back into puppy pose or maybe only come halfway back. Whatever feels best for you. Understanding that if at any time in our practice you'd like to come into puppy or child's pose as your active rest, you are more than welcome to. Start to walk your fingertips out nice and long. Utthita Balasana, extended child's pose. Feel the energy from the low back come straight out those fingertips. Nice big stretch here. Can feel the breath in the back body. Then on an inhale, come forward into kneeling plank. And our knees are wide, so we're going to want to walk them back underneath the body. And as we exhale, we can come into this half crocodile. Elbows into ribs, shoulders higher than the elbow crease. Inhale, press up. Exhale, float back towards the heels for child's pose. Little yogi push-up flow. Inhale, forward to kneeling plank. Exhale, half crocodile. Inhale, press up to kneeling plank. Exhale, float back. Breath with movement. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hinge back. Let's do this 2 more times, moving at a pace that flows with your own breath. Come back to hold in child's pose. And let's make our way back into that down dog, passing through this kneeling plank, turn toes under, then use that core power to float the hips to the sky and feel your heels release towards the earth. It's not important that our heels touch. We want to feel this nice long stretch through the back of the legs. Notice what's happening in the hands. And then bend those knees, look to the thumbs, and make your way forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Let the head hang. For some of us, we're going to look to our knees or our upper thighs to really let that head release and hang towards the earth. Sometimes we look to our fingers and toes, and that keeps our neck a little more active. So see if you can soften all the way through that neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's press the fingertips into the shins, roll the heart away from the tailbone. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw the low belly in, exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart center, and take a pause, gaze to the tips of those fingers. So for this morning, we're going to take half sun A and then full sun A. This is the fastest part of our practice, so understand you move at your own pace and do what you can do. On an inhale, we rise and follow those thumbs up to the sun. On our exhale, let's hinge from the hips, follow our thumbs into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten that back, open the heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse to rise up to the sun. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Good, we're going to take this 3 more times. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse up to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now follow your own breath for the next 2 flows. Rise to the sun. Fold to the earth. Halfway lift. Then fold. Reverse up to the sky. Hands into heart. Take this last one on your own. Follow your breath. Sometimes when we're sent on our own, we're not sure if we're doing this right, but we're not here for Yoga Perfect, we're here for a yoga practice. So find what works for you. Let's move into Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. If it's too much, come back to this half sun A. Rise to the sun. Exhale, fold to the earth. Let's do a kneeling version. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees nice and deep and come into kneeling plank, sending one leg back at a time. Exhale, lower to half crocodile. We did this in our yogi push-up. Inhale, cobra, hips down, elbows stay bent. And then exhale into child's pose for this one. Hips back towards the heels. Let the head and neck relax. 4 deep breaths. I want you to connect with your back body, rising to the sky. On your next inhale, start to bring the feet forward to your hands, into that forward fold where you'll exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten that back, exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse up to the sun. Exhale, hands to heart center. So I want you to know these kneeling versions are always available. You can mix and match or stick with kneeling. Otherwise, let's rise to the sky and fold to the earth. Halfway lift, then fold. Let's bend those knees and make our way to plank or kneeling. Shift the shoulders before lowering crocodile, half, or even relax. Scoop the heart to the sun, up dog, cobra, or even a baby cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. 4 deep breaths here. Allow yourself to let go of judgments, to let go of expectations, and let go of any competition. When you're ready, bend knees, look to thumbs. Make your way to your hands back into Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift, then fold. Reverse up to the sun. Hands lower to heart, and 2 more rounds. Rise to the sky. Find that breath, and then use it to control the pace of your flow. Lift halfway, then fold. As we bend our knees, we make our way to plank or kneeling. Shift shoulders before lowering. Scoop up to the sun. Hinge back for that hold. Hips high, heels heavy. Imagine your shoulder blades wrapping underneath those arms. Bend those knees, look to thumbs, make our way back into that fold. Halfway lift, then fold. Rise up to the sky. Hands lower to heart. One more round on your own. Where does each pose take you? Feel what the body needs. Make those adjustments. You are the student of your body. It's not about what you can't do, it's about what you can and build from there. When you make your way back to the top of the mat, just allow yourself to stand nice and tall in Uttanasana, that mountain pose. Feel free to close your eyes. Feel how that heart rate has gone up. The breath may become a little heavier. Take some deep, relaxing breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Nice big inhale. Sigh it out. I want you to go ahead and bring your hands to your hips. As you stand nice and tall, we're going to take a big step back with that left foot and turn and face the long edge of your mat. As you lift nice and tall, go ahead and send your arms out to the side. And as you make your way into the standing straddle airplane, exhale, hinge to the flat back. Take your hands right outside your hips. Then press into the outer blades of your feet and feel your legs fire up just a little bit more. I want you to imagine your belly button is pulling to touch your spine. Be careful of sitting in the heels. Stay over the arches of the feet. Inhale, rise all the way up to the sun, prepping for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Turn your right toe and heel towards the edge of the mat, and then exhale, bend into Virabhadrasana. This is our mighty warrior, Virabhadra, drawing his sword. Feel free to gaze over the tips of the fingers, stare straight ahead, wherever you want your drishti to go, that eye gaze. Then start to straighten the leg, Trikonasana Triangle, slide your rib cage over the thigh, and slowly release, hand to thigh, shin. Sometimes we need a block. It's not about being able to touch the floor, but we can always bring the floor closer to us. Some yogis are always thinking they gotta get to the ground, but if you're tipping forward to do this, stay over that thigh. Lengthen. Power through the feet, all the way up into those hips. As you come into reverse warrior, bend the knee and stretch over that back hip. Nice long reach. If you need support for the back, take the hand to the hip or gently let the hand drape down that back leg. Floating into side angle, Parsvakonasana, take the forearm to the thigh. Nice long stretch here. If you're sinking in the shoulder, I want you to push away. And then inhale, rise back up into your warrior 2. Now we're going to take these Twizzler arms. I want you to swing through. Swing through. Yeah, swing through. Swing through. Take this 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's windmill into a low lunge, sending our hands down to frame the foot, heel toe that foot over. Find yourself on railroad track, so your feet are hip width apart. And then from here, inhale, bring the hands up to the heart. And as you exhale, twisting prayer lunge, send this left elbow towards the right thigh and press those hands to spin the ribs. If you find your hip is swinging out to the side, hug that right hip in and back. Releasing into plank, we step into this nice, long, beautiful plank. Maybe the knees need to be on the mat, and pull your chest over those thumbs. And on an exhale, let's take 5 counts to lower all the way down to that mat. Here we go, on my count. 5, 4, oh, it's really slow, I forgot to tell you. 3, 2-1, come all the way down. Now those of you that are protecting a back or you're pregnant, remember you're coming here into table and going into spinal balance. The rest of us, we're down. What I want you to do is release your arms out, chin or forehead on the mat. And so you can hear me, I'm gonna keep my chin. From here, let's inhale, just lift the legs. Hold. Feel your pelvic go heavy into the earth. Try not to shove your chin or forehead into the mat. Lower the legs down. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, let it out. Chin or forehead on the mat, just the upper body. Press the legs and pelvic into the earth. Inhale, lift the upper body. So just variations to Shalabhasana, Locust Pose. And then exhale, come to the mat. Feel free if you want to turn your head to one side. Inhale, nice and deep. Open, let it out. Come back to center. Inhale, lift everything up off the mat. Imagine your body's like a book folding in half. So can you squeeze everything into the middle? Lift a little higher and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Relax. Let it go. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale, let it out. From here, press up into plank. Turn those toes under. Lift the knees first and then press up, or keep your knees on the mat and find kneeling plank. Lift your right toes off the earth and lift to three-legged dog, or tail of the dog, whatever you want to call it. But can you look at your left foot and let your heel go heavy? Nice long length here. Then inhale forward to plank, bring the knee to the nose, rise back up. Forward to plank, over to this left elbow, rise back up. This can be done in table. Knee to nose, rise back up. Knee to left elbow, rise back up. 2 more times. What works best for you? Are you flowing from plank or table? 1 more time. We're going to set ourselves up for this fallen triangle. So hold the right knee to left elbow. One variation is sending the knee behind the hand, and as you flip the heel, you lift up. The other variation is stepping your foot outside the hands and then lifting up. Feel your ribs and hips pull away from the earth as you try and touch the sky. From here, let's meet in plank and either hold or take a power vinyasa. Shift shoulders, lower to crocodile. Lift up dog. Let's all meet in down dog. When you're ready, look to those thumbs. Make your way to your hands into forward fold. We reverse up to the sky. Send the hands back onto those hips. Take a nice big step back again. Come into standing straddle. We lift our heart to the sky. For some of you, the arms will go outside the hips when we fold forward. For others, you can interlace the fingers. And I'm just turning sideways so you can see. You can rest your thumbs on your tailbone and pull your elbows back and still come into this flat back. Others, you're going to draw the knuckles away and wherever you want to take the arms. So let's first inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, hinge to this half straddle. So airplane straddle. If you're not taking your arms out, maybe more support for the back is hands on the thighs. Otherwise, interlace fingers if you'd want. Extend the arms away if that's comfortable. Pull the heart away from your tailbone. Can you draw your kneecaps up your thighs? What sensation does that give you? As you release the arms, take them back up onto your hips and rise back up. So when we interlace, we have a common way of always doing that, and that's natural. This time when we come into that straddle fold, I want you to change that interlace so it feels awkward. So if your right pinky is always on the outside, switch it so it's the left. So inhale, hands to hips. Exhale, hinge to that flat back. When you're ready, awkward interlace. And if you interlace and you're like, that feels great, then switch it. Pull the elbows to the sky and then draw the arms away if that's comfortable. Remember those variations, which one works best for you. When you release this time, inhale, rise up. Prep for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Turn your left toe and heel to the edge of the mat. Exhale, bend into that knee. Press your knee open towards the second and third toe. Reach the arms. Remember, this is our mighty warrior drawing his sword. And then as you straighten the leg, we move into triangle. Big reach, stretch over that thigh and slowly tip. Hand to thigh, shin, wherever the hand takes you. Take a moment, look down to your big toe. Are you pushing into that big toe mount to activate your arch? Dristy eye gaze to the toes, straight ahead or up to your thumb. Find what works for you. Remember that powerhouse. It's got to be strong here, holding you away from that leg. Floating into reverse warrior, bend the knee, nice big stretch here. We got to tuck that right hip under, and then nice long stretch away from that left knee. As we make our way into side angle, Parsvakonasana, forearm to thigh, nice big stretch. Some of us will take our hand to our thigh, some of us may go a little deeper. Does not matter what works for you. We rise back into Warrior 2, Virabhadra, and then do those Twizzler arms. Circle in and out. Hold that bend into the knee. Find a little more power rooting equally through your feet. 3 more. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Windmill into low lunge. Set up those feet so again, you have space between those heels like you're on a railroad track. Lift your chest halfway away from your thigh. Inhale, hands to heart. Twisting prayer. Exhale, right elbow towards left thigh. Now remember, we can push into our hands like we're bringing our body out like a sponge. Some of you will need to bring the knee to the mat. But keep your weight pressing down into that left heel. Let's release our hands to the earth and step into plank. As you find yourself in plank, pull your chest over thumbs. Again, we are going to lower to the mat for a count of 5. And it's going to be a little different. So listen, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release, either setting up for Shalabhasana or setting up for table pose with your spinal balance. So what do you need today? We're going to make this a little more. More doesn't always mean better. So first round, let's take Locust Pose. Inhale, lift everything up off the mat. Again, squeeze your body into the center like you're closing a book. And exhale to the mat. Turn your head to one side. Inhale, nice and deep. Open, let it out. Notice where your legs are. Let's move them together like we just banded our thighs and our calves towards each other. Then come back to center, chin or forehead on the mat. Inhale, rise up. Stay here or fingertips behind the ears for sea animal. What sensations does that bring into the back? Breathe. And then return to the earth. Turn your head to one side. Inhale, nice and deep. Open, let it out. One more round. For those of you that would like to take Dhanurasana bow pose, I invite you to go there. It's not for everyone. Let's first lift into locust. Some of you will choose to stay here, sea animal, or bend the knees and reach for those feet. Can you kick the feet into your hand? Hug your inner thighs towards each other. Sometimes we come into this pose with our knees really wide. Be mindful of that. 2 more breaths. You've got this. Back strength is so important. Then return to the earth. If you did this Dhanurasana, keep your knees bent. Let's all windshield wiper those legs. Bring a little ease back into your low back. Roll from hip to hip. It's not about what we couldn't do. Building strength in our poses is just part of the journey. Letting go of where we think we should be and just being in this moment. When you're ready, turn your toes under. Some of you will keep your knees on the mat. Otherwise, pull your knees off the mat, take your hands outside your chest, press up into plank. From plank, lift your left foot off the mat and come into three-legged. Let's take this little vinyasa, this breath with movement. Inhale forward to plank, knee to nose. Rise back up. Again, it can be done in table. Bring the knee over to the right elbow. Rise back up. Forward, knee to nose. Rise up. Across to the elbow. 2 more times. If you're like, no thanks, then just stay in three-legged. Remember, this is your flow. What do you need? It is not about me or anything else. When we come into this plank with our knee over to the right elbow, either stay here for fallen triangle, release the knee. As you drop the back heel, lift the hand. Or again, take your foot outside the hands, rise up. What can you push or pull away from the earth? You can push your hand into the earth, pull your hips, feel your feet. Every part of the body is engaged. Let's make our way into plank and either hold here or power vinyasa, lower to crocodile. Lift up dog, hinge back. Let's all meet in down dog. Take a moment to stay here, floating that left foot off the mat. Flex the foot, bend the knee, hip rolls open. Notice, do you pull your left shoulder open to get that hip wider? If so, turn the left shoulder towards the right heel. Just open the hip. Let's take wild thing. Come forward to plank. Stay here, and then step your left foot across the mat. Lift the hips up and arch over. Again, pushing into that right hand to keep yourself from collapsing. Come back into your hip opener. And let's move into pigeon, knee to the left, foot to the right. Release knees, unlock toes. We're gonna do a little inner thigh work while we're here. If you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that, then stay right here. Otherwise, take your fingertips outside your mat. And when you squeeze your inner thighs, I want you to press and lift away from the earth. Squeeze and release. Or another option is elbows into ribs, not using those fingertips. Squeeze and release. 2 more times. Lift and lower. Lift and hold. Those of you that have your fingers on the earth, stay there. Those of you that have the pizza pie hands, bring the hands to the heart. Rise to the sky. And slowly release and take it into pigeon bow. We can tip forward. Some of us may find this pose is not accessible without a block underneath the sit bone, maybe seated Z, or you have to do reclining pigeon, left ankle over right thigh. It's not a one size fits all. What works best for your body, and find your path there. Slowly rise back up and meet me in down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a pause here. Float your left foot off the mat. Make your way into straddle fold. So as that left foot comes forward, we walk our hands towards the length of our mat and fold. Again, blocks can bring the floor closer to you. You can let your head hang. Hands can go to thighs or shins. Whatever works best. Those of you that want to reach the hands through the legs, and imagine you're pulling yourself through the legs. Again, what is it you need today? Take one more deep breath here. Then walk over to your right foot and sweep it into three-legged. And let your left heel relax. Flex the foot, bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Again, what's happening with the right shoulder? Sometimes we want that hip to open so wide, we'll do whatever it takes. So if your right shoulder is opening, rotate it towards your left heel and just let it be a hip opener. Again, for wild thing, we start forward in plank. Step the right foot across the body, lift up, arch over. You can stay in plank with the hip opener, or you can flip the pose. Come back into that hip opener, and let's float into pigeon, knee to the right, foot to the left. And we go and release. Again, we can take the block, send it there. And then you're gonna lift off the block because now the block has become your floor. Or fingertips wide. Squeeze the inner thighs to rise up and then release. Or elbows in, lift up and lower. 2 more times. Lift and release, lift and hold. Either stay or hands to heart, and then take those hands up to the sun. Feel the power of your inner thighs, and then soften into pigeon bow. Any variation of pigeon will work. As you soften, it is not a collapse into that right hip. We're still staying towards the center of our mat, drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. We walk the hands into the body. For this one, we sit to the side, bring the legs around, find ourselves setting up for bridge pose. So when our feet are hip width apart, we slide our glutes towards our heels to lay back. Then I want you to take your middle fingers and graze your heels. Just graze, not be able to fully grab them. And then a little tuck of the shoulder blades. We want to use the back of our arms instead of the back of our head for this pose. So inhale, float the hips up to the sky. Some of you will come onto your tiptoes and you're going to move your feet in a little bit closer, a high bridge. And either stay in bridge, or those of you that are in high bridge are going to transition into shoulder stand. Those of you that want to come down and send your feet up to the sky, you have this legs up a wall variation. You'll feel your belly pull to the earth. If you're in high bridge, take your hands to the back of your hips, walk your elbows in closer. And instead of kicking up, we bring one knee over the hip, take it up, other knee over the hip, take it up. Come out of the hands and draw your toes to the sky. If you're saying, I can't do this, I want you to let it go. What can your body do? Is it off the earth, or is your back on the mat and you're doing this legs up the wall? We all can do something, even if the knees are bent, or even if we choose to stay in bridge. It's something. It is your journey. Wherever you're at, come out of your pose and lay with your back flat on the mat. Hug those shins or hamstrings into the body. Give a little rock from side to side. As you send your left foot to the earth, bring your right leg up to the sky. And either you hold at the calf or you hold at the hamstring. Avoid the back of that knee. And as you hold, feel free to slide your left leg out nice and long. This month, through various classes, I've been working this extended hand to big toe. So if you'd like, take your feet peace sign fingers to your big toe. And let's do reclining head to knee. Lift up, draw your head to your knee. Hug the elbow in, pull your tummy in tight. Slowly release. Some of you will keep holding at the big toe, or you're going to take your hands to your calf or your hamstring. And as we go into this leg opener, we slowly open that leg out to the side. Imagine you're opening a door and you're not sure what's on the other side. This allows you to connect with your hip joint as you slowly open. When you connect with your hips, make sure this left hip is pulling back down to the mat, so we're not rolling towards this right leg. Come back up to center. Bend the right knee and left knee and cross the right ankle over that thigh. Come into figure 4. Press your right inner thigh away from your chest. Feel free to stay here, release the hand, and bring that left knee over your hip, and come into this bound version of reclining pigeon, where we hug this hamstring a little closer to the body. But notice, are you rolling towards the right hip, or can you keep both knees aiming towards the sky? Get into that outer hip. So we uncross the right foot and bring it down to the mat. We come into this hamstring stretch. Send the left leg to the sky, holding at the back of the leg, whether it's the hamstring or calf. Pointing or flexing the foot, whatever feels best, or letting your foot relax. And then the option of sliding that leg out nice and long. Make sure your belly is still pulling to the earth. We don't go relaxed in our stretches. We still find the power in our bodies to hold the pose. For those of you that want to go a little deeper, peace sign fingers, reclining head to knee, and then curl up like you're trying to kiss your knee. Hug the elbow in. And then when you release, you can still maintain the bind at the big toe, the hamstring, or the calf, and take your right arm out to the side. Slowly start to open that left leg. And again, nice and slow. Focus on your hips, on that pelvic. Is it rolling, or can you keep both hip bones aiming to the sky? So sometimes our thought is how far we can open this leg, even if it's just a little bit open. But our hips are still aiming to the sky. That's where we want to start. The rest comes. We just have to be patient. When that leg comes back up to the sky, bend this right knee, release and cross the left ankle over the thigh. And some of you, that knee is staying curled into your chest, and maybe you're going to give a little assist on that inner thigh. Keep the left foot flexed so the ankle is supported and the knee locks it. Those of you that want to go for a little bit more, take your knee over your hip or reach through to that hamstring for this bound version of reclining pigeon. Again, notice the hips, notice the knees. Are you rolling, or are you still at the center of your mat? As we uncross the legs and bring our feet to the earth, we open into Uttanasana, reclined bound angle. For some of us, this is not accessible. We can go to awkward knees. We're letting our feet go wider and our knees touch. Or whatever pose you want to take, but let's do some breath work. Place one hand on your stomach, the other hand on your heart. And I want you to inhale like you're filling your body into 3 parts. So we inhale to fill the belly, we bring the air up into the chest, and then we send it to the back of the throat. When we exhale, it's out the back of our throat. We feel our chest release and our belly button draw in. Now do this at your own pace. Inhale nice and deep. Exhale nice and slow. With your hands connected to the body, you should have a deeper connection to the breath. So when you take that inhale, you'll feel your hand on your stomach rise, the chest rise, and then the air to the back of the throat. When you release the air from the throat, you'll feel the chest release, then the belly release. We're going to do this 3 more times. When you finish that last exhale, release the arms. Slowly feel free to release the legs out to the corners of your mat. And just soften. Imagine you're floating on a cloud. Your body, your mind feels light and free. Each exhale, the body feels softer. We're releasing any tension. We're letting it float away. Notice where you may still be holding tension. Exhale, let it go. You're welcome to stay here longer, or go ahead and wiggle those fingers and toes, roll the wrists and the ankles. Take a nice big inhale. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Bring the palms together. If you'd like, rub the hands, create heat. Create enough heat, and then gently place the palms over the eyes. Find ease for the eyes. On an inhale, stretch the arms over the head, reach long through fingers and toes. And on an exhale, draw the legs towards the body with a big hug of love and gratitude. Love this body you're in and be grateful for all it can do. Feel free to roll from side to side. And then choosing a side to roll to, gently roll yourself to one side. Use that bottom arm like a pillow and just relax. If there is anything that will not serve you for the rest of the day, take a big inhale. Sigh it out to let it go. So you press into your hands, allow this to be a restart. Come back up nice and tall. If you'd like, bring the hands to the heart. Thank you for joining me. Let's all smile and finish with Namaste. Have a great day. Thank you so much.